Hari Bol. He would wake up everyone, rise and rejoice to the name Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Pundraka, the false Vasudeva. So we read yesterday Vasudeva, this false Vasudeva challenged Krishna. So he sends a messenger to Krishna. And so let's see what Krishna says here. So, on Pundraka's behalf, the messenger said, I am the one and only Lord Vasudeva, and there is no other. It is I who have descended to this world to show mercy to the living beings. Therefore, give up your false name. Okay. He's telling this to the real Krishna, the messenger. O Sattva, give up my personal symbols, which out of foolishness now you carry. Come to me for shelter. If you do not, then you must give me battle. Hey man, you gotta entertain our guests here. Otherwise, why would anybody stay? Man, it's got to be fun. Shukadeva Goswami said, King Ugrasena and the other members of the assembly laughed loudly when they heard this vain posting of unintelligent Pundraka. See? The personality of Godhead, after enjoying the jokes of the assembly, told the messenger to relay a message to his master. You fool, I will indeed let loose the weapons you boast of in this way. When you lie dead, O fool, your face covered by vultures, herons, and vata birds, you will become the shelter of dogs. When the Lord had thus spoken, the messenger conveyed his insulting reply to his master in its entirety. Lord Krishna then mounted his chariot and went to the vicinity of Kashi. Upon observing Lord Krishna's preparation for battle, the mighty warrior Pundraka quickly went out of the city with 2 full military divisions. Pundraka's friend, the king of Kashi, followed behind. O king, leading the rear guard were the 2 Asakumiti divisions. Lord Krishna saw that Pundraka was carrying the Lord's own insignia, such as the conch shell, disc, sword, club, and also the imitation saranga bow and the Srivas mark. He wore the mock Kastuba gem and was decorated with a garland of forest flowers and was dressed in the upper and lower garments of fine silk. His banner bore the image of Garuda, and he wore a valuable crown, gleaming, shark-shaped earrings. Okay? So, how does this relate? How does this story relate to our world, man? Is there any Pundraka here? Do you see any Pundraka? Any false God claiming that he's God? Well, there might be some Mayavad stuff there. But we sure have a lot of false gurus. Yeah? They bear all the insignias. You know, it's like the real guru, the real spiritual master, the real acharya has, you know, whether they have, you know, they're looking the part or not. See, they actually bear weapons. You know, they bear weapons, you know, in our Gaudiya Vaishnava line. See? So those weapons and those qualities and attributes, this is what the real teachers and the real spiritual masters have to have. See, but the imitation ones put all the stress on the external. See, the external, looking the part, you know, nice dhoti, man, voted in gurus and teachers, and this makes them bona fide to be a real spiritual master that you can bow down to, that's going to deliver you. See? So just like there's the false Vasudeva, there's the false guru who is not really backed by the real Vasudeva. Okay? So, and so all you see is the external show. Now, millions of people believed in this Pundraka, who just had all these imitation qualifications, all external. The uniform, the big garlands wrapped around them. Say, like here, you say, oh, this guy must be a spiritual man. Look at all those garlands wrapped around his neck. He must be qualified. Okay? So people here are betting their life that they're going to believe it. If you come to this path, if you go to Jesus, you expect to be delivered usually, right? You want to be saved. I mean, that's the whole point of going to somebody that's giving those promises. See, Jesus said, hey man, anybody believes in me, you'll have forgiveness of sins. Hey, salvation. Hey, forgiven the sins that keep us in this world. Well, in Gaudiya Vaishnavism isn't the same thing. You're going to the Guru to be forgiven of your sins first off, and then there's something more. You can get forgiven of sins so that you can go to the next stage of worshiping the Lord in ecstasy. Ecstatic love. Okay? So, how many people are going to false Vasudevas? In other words, they're going to a guru that doesn't really represent the Lord. See? And cannot give them deliverance. See, that's called idolatry. It's amazing that people never think about this now. Especially the Vaishnavas are supposed to be intelligent, man. If you're going to a guru and you're bowing down to them, do they have the real insignias, the real qualities, the real qualification to deliver you? Have you ever thought about that? Well, everybody else is saying they're guru. Oh, look, he's got thousands of followers. See, the real Vasudeva has spiritual power. The real Guru has spiritual power. By their fruits they shall be known. Did you see the class this morning? We had a nice one, By their fruits they shall be known. If you come to into the Gaudiya Vaishnavism, hopefully you got half a brain that you want to be delivered, man. You want God to save you, man. And He saves you through the bona fide Guru. Is the Lord really backing that guru? Do you see the fruit of that worship, of people worshiping guru? What do they say? The guru is as good as God and all that stuff. And hey man, they better be. They better have the Lord's backing. The Lord's order to deliver. Okay? And it's not that hard to understand this stuff. You just use your common sense. But usually the Maya has bitten us and made us fools, made us less intelligent. We're worshiping people like we were talking about the fourth canto with Daksha, right? Daksha made everybody fools because they were worshiping a guy who couldn't deliver them. Millions, can you believe it? In this Maya, millions of people were worshiping Daksha who didn't have the qualities of a devotee, a pure heart. See? Qualities of devotee is not, if they cuss this or cuss that, is the quality of their heart, man. Is it purified? Is it purified to the point where they are being used by the Lord to purify others? Isn't that the whole point? See, so people were worshiping Daksha, millions of demigods. They believed that he was the deliverer. He was the highest, most respectable person in the whole assembly. And he wasn't. And that's how Maya works. Maya keeps people in illusion because people do not know who is the most respectable person, the most person who deserves the highest honor. They don't know. Maya won't let you know or doesn't want you to know. Okay? Here, we're teaching all about how to know what are the qualities of the most respectable person in this universe, not only this world. See? It's God and God. See? It's God and God. It's Krishna and Krishna for the Vaishnavas. Now, how can that be? See? If we're going to be delivered, we're going to be delivered by Krishna as Vaishnavas. Krishna is going to deliver us. But they say Krishna is going to deliver us through Guru. No. Yes, no. Yes, Krishna is going to deliver us through Guru. But that's how you got to find such a Guru, because they're what Prabhupada taught and the Vedas teach and conclusively teach. They're servitor Krishna. They're empowered to deliver. Like Krishna, if he was here, he could deliver your ass. See? Now, he's unmanifest, and he delivers people through his devotee, rare devotee. He invests them with empowerment to do it. See? But Krishna said, this person is mine. This is me in my form as Guru. External manifestation of Supersoul. Well, who can rise to that claim? Because if you're that, you'll deliver others. And the real Guru doesn't have to say, I'm the external manifestation of Supersoul. How do you know that they are? People get delivered, man. They get free of sin. And how do you know that? They feel really transcendently blissful. They feel very ecstatic. That's beyond sin. You cannot feel blissful and transcendent ecstatic if you have sin on you. So a real Guru doesn't say, I'm the real Guru and all that. All you have to do is look around. How many people have they delivered? The real Guru is very conclusive. He says, hey man, look what Lord Chaitanya said. Yes, it's correct. Those who awaken devotion to Krishna are certainly the spiritual master. Whoever listens to them is going to get God if they're the real deal. If you're Pundraka, you can boast, and they do. Oh yeah, bow down to me, man, and you see the results. You see the fruit is what? External bhakti, just less intelligent. Can't even find out if your own Guru has bhakti because you're less intelligent, worshipping people who still filled with envy, jealousy, and everything that we read about in Bhagavatam. See? And one lady comes to me and she says, well, you're crazy, man. Everything is good here. Everything is in the temples is all perfect. Yeah, that's what all the demigods were saying with Daksha. Everything is perfect. Everything is good, but it wasn't really, because they didn't know Bhagavatam. They didn't know that pastime. They would have to hear it from Shiva or a representative of Shiva, like those goblins that got Shiva's mercy. He told everybody, he said, listen, you're less intelligent because you're accepting this Daksha who is just looking it. He's the false Vasudev, man, the false Guru looking the part, but doesn't have the qualities of a deliverer. See, but look at Shiva. You listen to him. Oh, but see, they do this. Oh, but he doesn't have a good devotee, man. He doesn't look like he's handsome. He's got these things. He's this. They all looking externally. This with demigods, look externally. Mode of goodness, you still look external. Oh, did he have tilak on? Does he have a devotee? Right? Still external, all external. But Shiva could demonstrate spiritual power. And in our disciplic line, the demonstration of spiritual power is the awakening of devotion to Krishna. That is the biggest miracle that you can do. This is bigger than parting the sea, man. Those people went against Moses. He parted the sea, did all these amazing things, and they still turned on him. But I'll tell you, anybody who gets love of God from a real Guru, man, that is it. They know, my God, I've been delivered. My life is changed forever. That's spiritual master. That Lord Chaitanya taught. He said, I'll show you my miracle. And that's the miracle the real Guru does, is I make people cry for Krishna. That's what he said. and you hear from the real devotee, you will also cry and laugh and all kinds of things when you're delivered. That is proof all your sin is finished. You cannot experience Prema Bhakti unless your sin is finished, man. It's a higher stage beyond the Nartanavritti. See? And sin is finished, you know, you know who's transcendental, who's not. You know who's transcendental now? Prabhupada called it like there's a doctor here, on the battlefield. This Maya is a battlefield, man. People are all at different stages, and we're not the teachers for everybody, but those who they will be drawn. I just love the standard that Jesus teaches in this gar. He said, those who are meant to come to me will come to me. They'll be drawn to this message. Yeah, so everybody, the Lord is working through everybody. All paths lie upon me like pearls on a string. So in a sense, people say, why are you criticizing? What do you do? Well, what I'm doing, I'm teaching Shuddha Bhakti. That's what I'm doing, man. I'm calling people for deliverance. Yeah, I could see, Krishna's, working through everybody and all the paths and all that. But man, I'm here for those who are ready to be delivered. This is called Shuddha Bhakti message, Yeah, okay, you want to go these paths and all that? Yeah, everybody's going to get to God. Well, hopefully, that's not exactly right. Some people can spend another cycle here after going down and up and down and all this stuff. But hey, if you come, you say, and it's, I'm a less intelligent person, and I think this is a bunch of baloney what you're doing, I'm not even interested in all that. Well, why would you even? I say, okay, man, thank you very much. Shake the dust from your feet. Move on for the message. Yeah. That's what Jesus did. That's what he taught his disciple. And so I teach the same thing. I do the same thing. Give people a chance, man. I preach the message. Some people say, I'm not even interested in me. I just want to teach you my Vaidhi Bhakti because I'm such a great, intelligent teacher like the followers of Daksha. You're like that, man. Well, Daksha is your teacher, man. Go for it. We have knowledge here. We have the Bhagavatam. I love my job here, ordered by Prabhupada, is to take what I see in Bhagavatam and present it to the Vaishnava public, and they can look at it and see if it makes sense. Otherwise, how are you going to get beyond all these people say, hey, it's hunky-dory in Vaishnavism and everywhere else because, it just is. I don't know. I don't understand Bhagavatam. I'm less intelligent. You gotta get pulled out of that group. There's a lot of people most are like that. See? So if you're slated for deliverance, you'll hear this message. God will inform you. I'm here to teach those who are taught by the Super Soul. God in your own heart, man. If you're so cut off and you're just led around by people jerking you around because they're still full of envy and jealousy and tricking your mind, and you totally cut off from your heart, you can't even tell that you're morose. People, they can't even tell. You're looking around like sourpusses. They're cut off from their heart. They drank so much poison. See? So what to do? They follow those paths and, maybe some lifetime they get some good fortune. But those who are in touch with their hearts somewhat, we can fan that fire, right? You notice? People are coming here. They feel it. Oh yeah, I feel strengthened. I feel strength now. This is what I was looking for. I was waiting for my heart to be strengthened. Well, man, I've been doing my bhajan for, 50 years now. Really, started 50 years to get through all this crapola so I can preach like this and fan some people's fires also. At the same time, I get gravy too. I get lifted up also. Preaching, man, I love it. All devotees do. Gaur Govinda Maharaj said, I must preach every day. I love it, man. I lift it and lifts other people up, man. Right? So those people know that, then they're taught by God. They hear this message, it's like, hey man, there's life here, man. They may not understand it fully, but there's something there. I feel stronger, Okay, so back to the story. The one thing that's so beautiful, you can see how it's all tied together. One story to another. See, all these things are tied in. They're all connected. And the Lord, out of mercy, He shows me these connections, you know, and I present it to others. That's how it works. See, the Lord is kind of helping us all see through the Maya. Bhagavatam is meant to help us see through the Maya. He wore a mock Kaustubha gem, was decorated with a garland of forest flowers. Okay. Lord Hari laughed heartily when he saw how the king had dressed up in exact imitation of his own appearance, just like an actor on stage. See? So the false gurus do that too. See, they dress up like Acharya. They put the big title up. See? I'm Acharya. They get the garland, the big garland, you know, big flower, nice pressed dhoti. They got the followers. Didn't Pudraka had a lot of followers? There's a lot of people attracted by externals. Okay? They don't have the internal quality. They can't wake up your bhakti. They can't make Krishna appear in your heart, because the Lord doesn't, He only works through His authorized representative. See, He didn't work through Pundraka, and He doesn't work through false acharyas. See? So that's the one thing you don't get. If you really want a relationship with the Lord in your heart, you're coming to Gaudiya Vaishnavism. That means you want Krishna, a relationship with Krishna. You got to find the real guru in some lifetime. You got to understand exactly what we're talking about. Because what I'm talking about is exactly what's in Bhagavatam. You got to find somebody where it says, yes, it is correct. Those who awaken devotion to Krishna are certainly spiritual master. Well, you see that working here. You see the real spiritual master here because it is happening. But anywhere else, that has to be happening. Otherwise, you found the false Vasudeva, the false servitor Krishna. Okay? Krishna is not working through them in His Shuddha Bhakti personal potency. It's only the personal potency of the Lord that can wake us up to devotion to Krishna. It only runs through His rare authorized representative. And then it shoots off from there. Those who get it and it matures, even in the immature, they can help wake up other people. Even as Madhyamadikari, if you listen to their preaching, you can also get bhakti. But because it's real. Lord Hari, okay. The enemies of Lord Hari attacked him with tridents, clubs, bludgeons, pikes, ristis, barbed darts, lances, swords, axes, and arrows. But Lord Krishna fiercely struck back at the army of Pundraka and Kashiraj, which consisted of elephants, chariots, cavalry, and infantry. The Lord tormented His enemies with His club, sword, sudarshan disc, arrows, just as the fire of annihilation torments the various kinds of creatures at the end of the cosmic age. Yeah, so you notice there's a lot of war stuff going on in the Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Okay? Well, when there's deliverance, when the Shuddha Bhakti potency is here, it causes a war to happen. It has to. See, the modes compete with each other, and when the transcendental mode is manifest here, the other modes want to attack it. And a lot of those modes are in the form of Vaishnava dress, religious dress. And they come to fight with the devotee. And what are the weapons of a real devotee in this fight? Conclusive truth. Conclusive truth. Even now, we're freeing captives. Anybody who listens to this can check all these things in the Bhagavatam. You'll see that the Bhagavatam, that what we're saying here, is a weapon to destroy your ignorance that you've taken on as truth. You just blindly believe whatever they say is right? Well, I'm telling you, hey man, no. But what I'm telling you in the Shastra there, in the first chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's by the action of both the book Bhagavat and the real living devotee, Bhagavat, with the quality of being absorbed in the mellows of devotion, that these mellows of devotion are instilled in your heart. That's guru-disciple relationship, man. Always been like that, always will. That was the whole point. You listen to Jesus, a devotee Bhagavat, and then he teaches about the scriptures. He was a very religious person, man. He really had faith in the scriptures. He quoted them on the cross. They were killing him, and he was quoting scriptures, relishing scriptures. He was explaining the deeper purport of the scriptures to the people. Only those kind of persons who have a relationship with the Lord, because they worship the Lord in ecstatic love, they get the right understanding and they give it to you out of mercy. And see, then you get free. See, our scriptures are written by those kind of persons. They worship the Lord in ecstatic love and they write all this stuff down. See? But you know, you've got to find a living guru, so you fulfill that requirement of the book Bhagavat and the living devotee Bhagavat. And by that action, like we're doing here, you got somebody sitting before you, you got the book here, and we're talking about it and discussing it and clarifying, magnifying, intensifying. So it becomes so clear, you can see how you've been bamboozled in this Maya. How people right now are tricking you, fooling you, cheating you, lying to you, because they can't help it. They are lied to themselves because they're also in Maya. They're like Pundraka with the uniform on, looking like Guru with the big garlands and everybody bowing down, and people just blindly accept, well, it must be so because they look externally the part. Well, like Pundraka. And you want to be liberated from that? Well, you have to hear from the liberator, anointed with the spirit of devotion and relationship with Krishna. And they'll tell you and not just lie to you, they'll prove it by the scriptures. That's why it says, by the action of the devotee, he doesn't want you to be a blind believer like these people teach you. They give you, yeah, we got Bhagavatam, but, you know, we'll tell you it means this. Where does it say that you can be a guru without awakening devotion to Krishna in our scriptures? It's not to be seen. The real guru awakens devotion to Krishna. To those who believe in his message in their heart. See, checkable. Where do they? That's how you get over this. You're liberated from ignorance. They give you something that's not checkable. Well, ours is checkable. You can read it with your own eyes, man. Prabhupada was setting this up for our preaching, man. What do you think he's doing? He knew people couldn't get it then. Well, they're going to get it now. They had 2 hours a day they were supposed to study Prabhupada's books. That was the order. Have you done it? Well, let's see. And even if you haven't, you come here, you listen here, then you still can check it. You get an honorary degree, and those 2 hours study is waived. It's waived just because you come here, and you can still check it. Any imbecile can check these things. If you can read and write, even whatever your language, you can check these things. Why wouldn't you want to hear the understanding that comes from a person who worships the Lord in ecstatic love, especially when the book Bhagavad Gita 10:10 says that is the right place to hear from? Well, it doesn't say that. It just says, to those who worship me with ecstatic love, I give them the understanding so I can go and listen to a bozo. Well, if you think like that, well, go to bozo. Because somehow or other, the Lord, you must be really an idiot to think like that. You can't even infer. Why wouldn't you want to hear from somebody who has the right understanding, man? What does that mean? Hear from that person. That's the guru. They're going to tell you the truth because of their intimate worship of the Lord. Balaram says, Shuddha Sattva flag must be firmly re-established as the real fruit to get. Exactly, man. Prabhupada was Shuddha Bhakta. Everybody following him. He left, and then all of a sudden everything splits. See? There were 3 parties like with him. 2 parties were fighting like with him. 2, one the Ritviks and the living gurus. And there's one party had the right understanding. Gaura Haridas, Srila Gaura Haridas. I'm establishing the opinion of Shuddha Bhakti, like he did. He was Guru, right? His divine grace. There has to be one like that here to establish it. Otherwise, the 2 parties that are wrong prevail. I'm not saying he didn't give that order to be Ritvik, but that's not the conclusive, deeper understanding. Neither of them are. He can put a band-aid on for a while, but he's expecting a real Acharya to arise to keep it together. To keep that flag solid on the ground, man. Well, you see, it's like Ramananda Roy said, those who give up speculation and hear from the person who's realized Krishna, then you go to the next stage very easily, which is ecstatic love. So like when they ask Balaram, well, where does this say the easy path? Well, that's the easy path. But if you don't give up the speculation, it's really hard. We're talking another lifetime, at least. Okay, it's fine, you accept Prabhupada, you accept him, you accept the name Krishna and all that, but you can't taste it yet because of speculation. So if you get more intelligence, either you hear preached, or in some life you get Sakriti, by doing whatever you're doing, book distribution and all that, okay? But you'll enter the next phase, which is you realize you're honest enough, I really don't know, I really want to know. See? And then somebody comes along preaching like this, because the Acharya always is the same kind of preaching. They preach the truth, and the truth sets people free who listen. So if somebody, that's why I say, you're going to see people that do get this, they're here to get this. It's not going to be the masses right now, maybe later on, but let's see. But those who do get it will awaken. See, because we're at that stage, and that's proof that this fool Gaurahari has realized Krishna, because those who do listen very quickly realize Krishna. They go from Ramananda Roy in that conversation, that's where the Lord was impressed. He said, oh yes, very good. Before it was reject, reject, reject. Reject Varnashram Dharma is only external bhakti. See? Yeah, that's external. Tell me some other method, tell me some other method, tell me some other method. It was only at that point where we're starting from, man, is whoever believes that this person is not a speculator, and is not lying to you, not cheating, you come to the point by hearing faith, and then you'll come to the next stage, which is the awakening of this devotion. That, don't you see it all happening here? See, because this is a very high stage, actually. It's not the ultimate stage. It's where people need to get to go to there. People are trying to jump from not even coming here. They're listening to the speculators who are teaching, just meditate on being a maidservant of Radharani, and they do that for 20 years, like my ex-wife, and going bonkers. I can't do it, but I still believe in my sinking ship, because that's what can I do? I don't believe in you. What can be done? See? All I can do is present the truth, and if somebody has enough brain substance, she'll eventually get it. I mean, it may take a couple of, maybe next life or something. But I'm here, whoever will get these understanding and have faith in this ship. And I show you, see, if you jump from to a speculative Vaishnava who is teaching that, just go and meditate all day on Radharani, and you have no bhav for that, it'll awaken naturally. It's like what people say on Vaidhi Bhakti and ISKCON. I'll just do Vaidhi Bhakti, and this devotion to Krishna Vrindavan will just awaken naturally. Well, that's bullshit, my friends. I'm sorry. That is not true. Prabhupada actually said something like that. But you know what? When you check his own books, it says, no way, man. No way! Not a chance. It says you'll go to Vaikuntha at best. And Prabhupada himself says in that purport in the fourth chapter of Adi Leela, Chaitanya Charitamrita, the postgraduate book that we preach from also, as well as all the books, with the right conclusion, says the best you can do following Vaidhi Bhakti is Vaikuntha. And then Prabhupada right up there in the purport says, if you follow it flawlessly. Who the heck can do that, man? And then you only get Vaikuntha. But the good news is, if you hear about Krishna and will give up, throw away your opinion like the Lord did. He preached in South India, and whoever threw away their old opinion that didn't work. You guys, you Ritviks, throw it away. And if it doesn't work, after 40 years, come here and you get devotion to Krishna. If you got some brain stuff, and you living gurus who don't have devotion to Krishna yourself and can't awaken it, come over here. If you got some brain stuff, where it works, because we're right in line with the book. This is the real line, man. I prove it every time. Just fishing out there. Maybe somebody has something. Maybe it'll get through.